Hi everybody, welcome back to my kitchen. Today we're going to make hamburger casserole. I found this recipe online from Mimi's Recipes and I'm going to give it a shot and see how my family likes it. These ingredients you can just get from your pantry, and if you did not have onion, you could do dried onion. Today we're going to use fresh onion, but if you did not have that, if you had dried onion, you could use that. So that would be a perfectly good substitute and it would still be good. The hamburger that I'm using is from my freezer. So everything is stuff that I would normally have on hand, and let's get to it. So you need to set your oven temperature to 350. So the first thing you need to do is get a large pot of water boiling. So I'm using this pot right here. It's quite large, and we are going to boil egg noodles. And while this is boiling, we're going to take 2 pounds of ground meat and we're going to saute that until it's brown with some onion. Okay, we've got some boiling water. I'm going to put the pasta in now. I'm just going to give it a little stir. I added a little bit of salt because I always do to my pasta. I'm going to brown all this meat. Right now I'm just breaking it up, and then I'm going to add in onion that I've chopped up. And you could also, right here, you could add in the dried onion if that's what you have. So I'm going to add the onion here, and I'm going to mix it up with the ground beef. And it's going to continue to brown the ground beef and cook the onion at the same time. This process will take about 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how much meat you're using and how high you have the heat turned on. I put my onions in a little bit earlier than most people do. I like them to be really well cooked. So my kids don't want to taste the onion. It's really the texture they don't like. So the more they're cooked, the less the texture will bother them. So I tend to put my onions in pretty early. So you want to break the pieces up nice and small. I really love cooking sort of baked casseroles like this. My kids tend to like them. They're super easy to make. I can make this in the afternoon and have it ready and just stick it in the fridge. And then when it comes time for dinner, around 5 o'clock or around 6 o'clock we eat, but around 5 o'clock I can stick this in the oven, or around 5:15, and just cook it then. But until then I can just, you'll see, I'll put it all together in a casserole dish, and then you can put it in the fridge for a while. It might take a little bit longer to cook if you do that because you're going to make it cold. But then if you don't have time to cook at that time, if you're running around picking up kids, dropping off kids, doing all the things you do when you're home with kids, then this is easy to pop in the oven if it's been made earlier in the day. So while this was cooking, I just drained my pasta. This is almost done. I used 2 pounds of meat here. You can use less meat or you can use more meat. It just depends on how meaty you want the recipe to be. And after you make it a couple times, you'll kind of start to see, oh, I want a little more, I want a little less, just sort of depending on what you and your family likes. I used a lower fat meat on this. I'm not sure what it was, honestly. It's the hamburger that you get from Costco. So I'm not even sure, but there's not, as you can see, there's not a lot of fat. So I'm not even going to worry about draining it. If you feel like you have a lot of fat left, you might want to drain some of it off. But if there's not much, then I don't think you need to worry about it. So I drained my pasta there, just putting it back in here. And I'm going to put cream of mushroom soup. I've got 2 cans of cream of mushroom soup. Now, if you don't like cream of mushroom soup, You can use cream of chicken soup. You can use cream of celery soup. You can pick whatever you want. Just whichever one you like. Hey, what part of the country are you watching this from? I'd love to hear where you're from. And then the last ingredient is shelf-stable cheese whiz. So this is good for your prepper pantry. This is shelf-stable. That's why I wanted to make this, is because this is a cheese that you can just have in your pantry all the time. So I did heat it up a little bit in this jar in the microwave, and that's just to help get it out. You don't need to make it hot. I just put it on defrost for about a minute, minute and a half. This is the 15-ounce jar. So that's it. All those things I'm going to mix up, and then we're going to add the beef in. Just start adding my beef a little bit at a time, just so it's easier to mix it around. This is hard work. This is good for your biceps. This is heavy. It's looking pretty good. Just keep mixing and folding over until it all looks like it's mixed in. So I'm going to put this in my casserole dish. And this is a 13x9 casserole dish, and it is filled up. So I'm going to set my timer for 20 minutes, and then I'm going to pull it out and put some cheese on the top and bake it up for another 10 after that. I did move it down to a lower rack as it was cooking, and I checked on it, and it looked like it might kind of start browning on the top, and I didn't want it to do that. So I just moved it down to the lowest rack. And this seems like more than enough cheese. And then we're going to just stick it back in. Ooh. I'll lift it up for you so you can see it. You can see it starting to brown on the top. It looks delicious. I'm going to let it cool off a little bit, and then we'll scoop some out and have a taste. This looks so good. The texture is so nice. You can see that. It's all steamy hot. It looks scrumptious. Okay, I'm going to give it a try. I've never had this before, and we'll see what I think. Just looking at it, it looks like something I can see my kids enjoying. It's pasta, it's beef, it's got cream of mushroom soup and cheese. I mean, what's not to like? It reminds me of something my parents used to make when I was growing up. It has that, the egg noodles and the hamburger and that casserole and Campbell's soup kind of stuff going on. It's good. I might add some garlic salt, maybe some onion powder, but it's really good, and I think my kids are going to like it. So we'll find out tonight. I want to know if you're going to make this tonight, so let me know down in the comments. If you enjoy content like this, please don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and click up here for my next video. See you there. Bye-bye.